is up, guys? We are back. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Any Action Sportscast. My name is Effie, and this week we're going to be going over UFC Austin, Calvin Kattar versus Josh Emmett. Now, before we do that, guys, go ahead and help us out. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We're at 82 subscribers, and we're moving on up closer to 100. We really appreciate all the support, and yeah, help us out. Go hit that subscribe button. Before we get into this week's super stacked UFC Austin card, we got to go over how we did at UFC 275 betting wise. I gotta say, guys, it was not a good night. We went 4-4 for negative 4.11 units.
I heard that. I wish I didn't hear that, but I just heard that.
Our lock of the night lost, and that really burned us, guys. Let's go over it right now. We had Ramona Pascual to start the night, plus 150, 1 unit to win 1.5. She actually had way more success on the feet than I expected, but she also had way less success than I expected on the ground. She could not get her opponent Edwards down, couldn't hold her if she did get her in the clinch, and yeah, pretty much turned into a striking battle where it was a 50-50 fight. We ended up losing a split decision. And then we had Lian Na, plus 130, 1 unit to win 1.3, and she came out shooting a takedown like I've never seen before. She just put her head forward, put her arms back, and ran forward, shooting for a takedown, couldn't get it, and got absolutely blasted about 20 seconds later. Knocked out in the first round. That bet was over before it started, and probably should have just bet violence, probably should have bet the under on that fight instead, but took a shot on the dog, and we started the night 0-2, down 2 units to start the fight, start the card. First 2 fights on the card, never good. After that, guys, Jake Matthews comes through as an underdog for us, knocks out Andre Fialho, plus 130, 1 unit to win 1.3. That put us on the board and got us right back in a good spot. Then we had a parlay. They got turned into a single straight bet with Manel Kape getting his fight canceled. We had Brendan Allen minus 280, 1.50 units to win 0.53, and that ended up hitting, so that was another good hit for us right there. That was actually way closer than I expected. Allen had to really dig down and dig deep for that decision there. Then, guys, we had Valentina Shevchenko via decision, plus 105, 1 unit to win 1.05, and this was close, man. I did not expect this fight to go this way, and if it wasn't for that broken orbital bone, we might be looking at Anu right now. I personally thought Shevchenko lost 3 rounds to 2. I thought she was down 3 rounds after 3. I thought she needed a finish, and you know, the judges bail her out, and she retains her belt and still, which was good for us for our bet and also for the over. We had Shevchenko and Santos over 3.5 rounds, 1.4 units to win 1 at minus 140. That hit. Man, that fight was, like I said, insane. Didn't expect to go that way. Santos looked amazing, man. I hope they get an immediate rematch as soon as she's done healing. That injury looked pretty serious. And guys, the main event at UFC 275 was one of the best fights of the year, no doubt. Glover Teixeira versus Jiri Prochazka. Prochazka and New submits Glover Teixeira in the 5th round. Did not see that coming at all. And we had Glover Teixeira inside the distance, plus 275, 1 unit to win 2.75 units. And that lost, and it had plenty of opportunities in there to hit. I feel like this fight really swung us into the negative. We were teetering on a positive night. If Glover could have got the finish, and if he could have got it done early, we would have had a huge night. But he ends up not being able to do it, gets up submitted himself, just ends up gassing out at the end there. And you have to get up to Jiri, man. Jiri is a beast. He's a force to be reckoned with for sure. Which brings us to the lock of the night. Teixeira versus Prochazka under 2.5 rounds, minus 170, 5 units to win 2.94. Now, this fight ended up going pretty much the whole 25 minutes. And sometimes, guys, fights just go way different than literally everyone expects. Now, one person thought that fight was going to go 25 minutes. And, man, Glover was seconds away from winning and retaining his belt. But, you know, Jiri gets it done. The way his fighting style was, the way Glover can eat shots, really screwed us here in this over 2.5 rounds, under 2.5 rounds. But we'll bounce back, guys, and hopefully we can hit our next lock of the night. So with that, guys, let's go ahead and get right into UFC Austin. Calvin Kattar versus Josh Emmett. And the first fight at UFC Austin is going to be Phil Hawes taking on DERON WINN. Now, Phil Hawes comes in as a favorite at minus 250. DERON WINN plus 190 as an underdog. I gotta say, guys, I like Phil Hawes here, and I might even put him in a parlay piece. That's how much I like him. Let's get into it. First of all, when I looked at this fight, the very first thing that stands out is how small DERON WINN is. He's a wrestler. He wants to get fighters on the ground, and you know, he's like this Daniel Cormier protege. He's like his little protege fighting out of California. He's a good grappler, man. He definitely knows what he's doing grappling wise, very competent. But Phil Hawes has 100% takedown defense. He's never been taken down in the UFC. But I do expect him to get taken down here. Just because he's so going to be the way bigger fighter here doesn't mean he's impervious to getting taken down. I do think that Phil Hawes' gas tank's going to need to hold up here in round 2 and 3. So if he can have enough cardio to be fresh in round 3, which is a big question, I do think he's a safe bet here. He is, a little bit chinny. He's been cracked before, but I don't think that's much of a threat here from drawn win. If he can keep it standing here, I feel like he's going to cruise to a decision or maybe even finish drawn win. So my pick's going to be Phil Hawes via decision. After that, guys, we have Kyle DAUKUS versus Roman DOLDZE. Kyle DAUKUS comes in as a favorite at -225. DOLDZE, the underdog, at +190. Make sure you hide your girl because Roman DOLDZE is liable to steal her. If you know what I'm talking about, then shout out to you. But let's talk about the fight. Again, guys, I like Kyle DAUKUS here, and I like him enough to put him in a parlay piece here. The thing with me with this fight is Kyle, I don't know what the age is, actually. I don't know the difference in age, but he just seems like the younger fighter in his career, and he's still ascending, whereas Roman, I feel like, is pretty much plateaued. I'm not expecting much from Roman going forward in the UFC. He's a good fighter as well. He's well-rounded, has some pop, some pretty good leg kicks, can grapple, definitely in the clinch, especially. But Kyle's pretty good everywhere. His ground game is pretty good. His standing's average, I'd say. But he's going to be a long and tall fighter. I just don't see him having very much of a weakness here anywhere versus Roman. So I'm going to pick Kyle DAUKUS to grind out a decision here. Man, Roman, he's liable to crack Kyle, in my opinion. But I don't think it's going to happen here. My parlay piece, Kyle. I'm going to go ahead and pick Kyle DAUKUS via decision. We're moving right along, guys. This is going to be one of our quicker videos. If you're new to the channel, we usually take a little bit longer on breakdowns, but this one, we have to get out a little quicker. We got Cody Stamann taking on Eddie Wineland. Now, Cody Stamann's a huge favorite at -450, and Wineland's the underdog at +300. Now, this sort of seems like a gimme fight for Stamann, as he got absolutely smoked in his last fight by Nurmagomedov. And meanwhile, Eddie Wineland, I'm surprised he's still in the UFC. He's ancient. Yeah, he's been fighting since the WEC days. But this, he doesn't have to worry about getting sparked here by Cody Stamann. I don't think Cody Stamann's like a knockout threat on the feet very much here. This is gonna be a grind fest. I think he's gonna grind Eddie Wineland down, maybe finish him on the ground. But I don't know. I don't see it. Again, another decision. Man, this is a lot of decisions so far. But I do think Cody Stamann's a pretty safe play. I mean, who's out there gonna bet Cody Stamann -450? Not me. Maybe look at the over. But I think Cody breaks out of his losing streak here. And yeah, Wineland probably gets closer to retirement here. I don't know how he's still fighting. But give me Cody Stamann via dominant decision pretty easily, yeah. Up next, we have Danny Chavez taking on Ricardo Ramos. Line currently sits Chavez +240, Ricardo Ramos, the favorite, at -300. And this kind of sucks because it's another wide line, but I do think it's going to be semi-close. I love Ramos in this fight. He's going to be way younger. I believe he's 9 years younger than his opponent here. And to me, he's a little more well-rounded. Chavez is more of a power threat, finish threat. He has a bunch of first-round finishes in his record. But he has less UFC experience, less experience against high-level opponents. He just came off, I think, a draw against Kai Kamaka. Whereas Ramos, I forget who his last opponent was, but he has some pretty good names on his resume, even whether win or lose. Nurmagomedov being one of them. We talked about him earlier. But I do like Ramos here. I think he's live for a finish. It's one of those scenarios, guys. I would say I don't like getting in front of a up-and-coming prospect. I don't know how much of a prospect you consider Ramos, but I do think he's a younger fighter at this point in his career. But like I said, -300 is a little pricey. Man, they're just begging us to construct parlays this week to try to take that down. Even the over is a little bit dangerous, as I do, like I said, think both guys can finish. They both shown they can finish throughout their careers. Chavez not so much at the UFC level, but I like Ramos here, so go ahead and give me Ricardo Ramos via third round TKO. Next, guys, we have a UFC fight where I was stunned to see who was the favorite versus who was the underdog. Then it made sense. I'm talking about Gloria DePaula versus Maria Oliveira. Now, DePaula currently sits -275, Oliveira +210. There's absolutely no way I'm betting on this fight. If you bet on this fight, 1-800-GAMBLER, call them immediately. Guys, DePaula's 6-4, and she's -275. Actually, hold on. This is a perfect smoke break fight. These next two fights, go ahead and go to the garage, load a bowl up, and come back in 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Absolutely no way I'm going to touch this fight. You be the underdog just based off the value right there. There's no way I'm going to bet on DePaula at -275. I'm probably going to bet this fight at all, like I said. But for the pick, I'm going to fade the 6-4 DePaula. Give me Oliveira via decision. After that, guys, we have another favorite, which I think is worth fading. Jasmine JUDAVISIAC versus Natalia Silva. Now, Silva's making her UFC debut. The line currently sits Jasmine minus 250 and Natalia plus 200. Jasmine's coming off beating Kay Hansen, where we bet on her. If you go back and watch our episodes, we actually bet on her and won. But I don't think she's that good, guys. I mean, she won and I was happy, but I wasn't that impressed. I don't think high up Kay Hansen at all. But I just don't know anything about Silva. She's literally never fought in the UFC. I just don't think I can lay minus 200, 250 on Jasmine. Absolutely no way. This is a pass. I'm going to go ahead and pick Silva. Who knows? Maybe she's good. I'm going to pick Silva based off what I've seen from, not from anything I've seen from Silva, but what I've actually seen from Jasmine. So she's pretty big for the division. I'll give her that, tall and long. But yeah, go ahead and pick Silva. After that, guys, there's a fight I am actually happy to talk about. Talking about Jeremiah Wells versus Court McGee. Line currently sits Court McGee, the favorite, at minus 120. Jeremiah Wells plus 100. Now this line flipped. Wells was the favorite, McGee was the underdog. Now McGee is the favorite. And I still think there's value on him at minus 120. I think Court McGee is gonna win, and I think he's just gonna. This is gonna go just like a lot of his fights go. Pretty, fighting from the outside, mixing a couple grappling exchanges here and there. Wells is a grappler. He does want to get this fight in the grappling realm, but he's 35 years old, and I do think it's time to fade him. We actually bet on him also against Blood Diamond. But guys, he started the fight off by, "You ready to fight? You ready to fight?" He says yes, and he runs around in a circle, almost falls down in the middle on the cage. It almost gets like his back kicked right away, right when the fight starts. I remember like, what was that against Blood Diamond? But yeah, he's 35 years old. The age is really a big factor here to me. Court McGee is no spring chicken either. I mean, he's been in the UFC for a long time. He's aging as well, but I do think he's a better overall fighter. I've seen more of him, and I just have more faith in Court McGee at this point. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Court McGee minus 120. Give me him via decision. After that, guys, we have a straight banger. We have Adrian Yanez versus Tony Kelly. Now, line currently sits Yanez minus 350. Kelly, the underdog, at plus 260. I gotta say, I think there's value on Kelly there. I mean, everyone knows the whole what happened with KGB in the corner. Everyone, and rightfully so, is rooting for Yanez to absolutely spark Tony Kelly. Kelly got caught on the hot mic, calling her KGB's Brazilian opponent a cheater, a dirty cheater, or something like that. It's what they do, or something was the quote. So everyone's now rooting for this guy to get sparked right here. But put that aside, look at how the actual fight's going to go. Yanez should win. I do like Yanez, but the line is not that. The line is not minus 300. I mean, he can knock out Tony Kelly, but I mean, guys, that's wide. Minus 300, like, damn. I wish it was closer to the lower 200s and mid 200s. Tony Kelly's no punk. He has a ton of volume. If this is a stand-up fight, which I do think it is, neither guy has more than, I think, 2 takedown attempts in the UFC. I expected to, Tony to have chances. Tony can win off volume alone here. I can't believe I haven't mentioned it, guys. We're in Texas. This is going to be happening at Austin, and the judges are trash in Texas. They've been judges like kind of recently everywhere, but especially in Texas. So be careful, guys. This is going to be a close fight. In my opinion, I do think it's going to be close. I know the line doesn't say it's going to be close, but I think Yanez is going to get tested here. And the pick is Yanez. I do see him winning a decision here. But man, it's gonna be sweaty here. I do expect Tony to have his moments, and if he can mix in some grappling here, it's gonna be interesting. I'm picking Yanez because I do think he does have a slight power advantage, and he's a little bit crisper in his exchanges, a little more sharp in my opinion with his combos. I'm excited for this one, man. This one's gonna be a banger, fight of the night material here, especially with the bad blood that that's going into it. But guys, expect a close fight, and if Yanez or anyone really, Tony Kelly comes out and sparks him, then I guess never mind. But I'm gonna pick Adrian Yanez via close decision. After that, guys, we have Julian Marquez versus Gregory Rodriguez. Rodriguez is the favorite at minus 200. Marquez plus 165. And I love Gregory here. This is one of the closerly lined fights of the card so far. But even in this one, Marquez is live, dude. The underdog is live again here. I think there is value in Marquez here because we just don't know how RoboCop's going to fight. The Brazilian Obama, he can come out here and just fight reckless. He's good stand-up-wise. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a jiu-jitsu practitioner. When I think of Gregory Rodriguez, I think of the mat. I think of him trying to get submissions. But he does have a good jab. He does have some pop, and he's huge for the division, guys. He's real big. He's yoked. Which brings up one of the red flags, which makes Marquez live, I feel like, is his gas tank. How is Gregory going to look in round 3? I think Marquez is pretty live throughout the whole fight to land a knockout, but especially as this fight gets extended, I do get a little worried that Gregory, one, doesn't fight with high fight IQ, and two, gasses even if he does. But I do trust him here. I do think he's live for a knockout or a sub. Well, real quick, I want to shout out UFC Fight Pass, Chael Sonnen's thing. Was it Submission Underground? Go watch Gregory's match, his most recent match. He wrestled a dude that was 40 pounds lighter, and the other dude, I forget his name, was like doing really good. I just remember being like, "What the hell is this? Like, who booked this?" But I guess they do that in jiu-jitsu tournaments. But it was pretty awesome. Gregory Rodriguez was legit. Yeah. So the pick's gonna be Gregory Rodriguez via first round submission. Oh, next, guys, is my main event. We have Damir Ismagulov versus Guram Kutaladze. Line currently sits Damir minus 175 and Guram plus 145. Now, both these guys haven't fought for a long time. They've sort of been out of the UFC picture for a while. I feel like people have forgot about these guys, but they're going to get reminded here on Saturday. This is going to be a close fight. This is the closest line fight on the card. I mean, wait, actually, the Cerrone fight is. But this fight is going to be close, guys. I like Damir here. I like Damir a lot. I'm big on Damir. I love his camp, love his whole team. Like, he has a great training partners around him. But so does Guram. Guram trains in Sweden at All-Star with Chimaev. And, dude, he's legit. And I'm surprised he took this fight. Not took this fight, but, like, they're giving him this fight or even offer this fight. Like, why? He got Matuis Gamrot and now Damir Ismagulov back-to-back to start his UFC career. Like, that's insane. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, Parzukian got Islam Makhachev to start his career as a debuting fighter, but this is rough, dude. Two fights and might be 0-2 here. But let's get to the fight. Damir, in my opinion, is more well-rounded. Definitely the better striker. And I think he's live for a knockout on the feet here because I feel like Guram's going to be spamming clinch opportunities and takedowns, body locks, judo throws. Whereas the judges just haven't been valuing that as much. I feel like if it's close, if it does come down to control time for Guram, having it a little bit more, maybe that winning him the fight, I feel like the damage can be done here by Damir. Big red flag from Damir, though, is he missed weight last time and he hasn't fought in forever. Both guys are coming off at least a minimum 1 year absence. I think it's 1.5 for Damir and 2 for Guram, 2 years off. But like I said, yeah, big weight cut issue there for Damir. So I do want to wait to see if the line does get out of the line or playing that betting line before it sways too much, or if it stays where it's at, waiting till they face off and make weight. Because I am interested to see how Damir is going to look on the scale. But the pick is going to be Damir. I just don't think Guram can stand with him on the feet. He's going to be forced to wrestle here. He's not going to have an option, in my opinion. But he's a good fighter, man. I do not blame anyone for betting on him. There's a ton of value. This is one of those, Eastern European beasts. But I'm going to go ahead and pick Damir via decision. No, sorry. Second round finish. I'll change it. Second round finish. Then, guys, we have Joaquin Buckley versus Albert Duraev. Now, Duraev is the favorite, minus 200. Joaquin Buckley, plus 165. Now, Duraev coming off the Contender Series, and then, in my opinion, he sort of didn't impress me after that. When I saw him on Contender Series, I was like, holy crap, this guy has a ton of potential. And can't wait to see him fight again. And in my opinion, he sort of went the opposite. He did not impress me in his last fight. Joaquin Buckley had a real close fight with Abdul Hassak Rasan in his last fight, where he had the urban survival dude in his corner, and he still won. He ended up losing on that fight. I'll never forget that. But I don't know. So when I looked at this fight, I actually liked and surprised to see Buckley as the underdog. I thought he was gonna be the favorite. Then you go look at stylistic matchup here. Obviously, he's gonna get taken down over and over again. But Duraev, like I said, gas, dude. He sort of looked like crap in the third round of his last fight, and he was kind of really clock watching. So I kind of leaned Buckley in the start of the week, but now I sort of do think Duraev is a pretty safe option here because I looked at that Logan Storley fight with Buckley, and if Storley is good, don't get me wrong, Storley's one of the best fighters not in the UFC. He's over there in Bellator. But that's a pretty blatant game plan here. Buckley is super dangerous on the feet, like incredibly dangerous. But you got to question, what's his cardio going to look like if he does get taken down in the first round? Then, dude, vice versa. How easy is Albert going to be able to close the distance? Is he going to be able to do it really easily, or is he going to have to work really hard? Because if he doesn't get that takedown, and if he gets caught coming in, that can very well happen here. So I don't know, man. I do think Duraev gets right on track here, but I don't trust him enough to bet it here. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Duraev via decision. No, third round finish, because I do think if he does get him down, he's gonna tire out Buckley. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Duraev via third round decision, but don't feel that confident on it because of how live Buckley is with the power. We got 2 more fights, guys. Oh no, we have 3 more fights. Next we have Tim Means taking on Kevin Holland. This one's gonna be a banger too. We have Kevin Holland minus 250, Tim Means plus 200. Now, similar to the last fight, but not as much. There's a pretty blatant game plan to beat Kevin Holland. Take him down, hold him down in win minutes there, because he has shown he can get up. Even though he's a pretty good jiu-jitsu, good jiu-jitsu defense, he avoids chokes. He just doesn't. He can't get up. Can't win minutes on the ground. He gets controlled pretty easily here, and he's dangerous on the feet, man. So why would you want to stand with him? Tim Means been in the game way long, forever for sure. He's 32, 12, and 1. But there's value on him for sure here. I like Kevin Holland. The pick will be Kevin Holland, but man, another semi-wide line where he might have to be a parlay piece. Where Tim Means can definitely implement that game plan and try to use his wrestling and grappling here. But I expect Kevin to show improvements here, and whereas Tim Means sort of we already got what we're gonna get. He's pretty old now at this point in his career. Give me Kevin Holland via 3rd round submission. Then we have a fight that got rebooked. We have the 2 legends retirement fight, hopefully. Donald Cerrone taking on Joe Lozon. Cerrone, the favorite, minus 165. Joe Lozon, plus 135. Now, I'm like, how the hell could you ever possibly bet Donald Cowboy Cerrone at minus money, minus 165? Absolutely not. No way. The pick's going to be Lozon. I do think he finishes Cowboy Cerrone here. And I'll tell you why. First of all, Cowboy is ancient. They're both ancient, don't get me wrong. Cowboy's 48, I think, and Lozon's 47. It's high 40s for both. Yeah, I think I heard someone say you add both these guys' ages up, it's get close to 100. I was like, that's crazy. But hopefully whoever loses retires. Well, I wouldn't mind if the winner retired either. Cowboy's a slow 1st round starter. Lozon's going to have to put it on him here early. But I just think that Cowboy's likely to get knocked out or submitted here either way. I think that when the fight got canceled, Joe Lozon, the way he talked about the fight, he seemed fine. I was like, oh man, that guy looks like he's ready to fight. Whereas, Cowboy's pulling out. Cowboy's getting old. It's going to be another, camp or weight cut back to back pretty quickly. And I just don't know how Cowboy's going to look if he doesn't finish it early. I actually don't think the fight finishes. I feel like the fight gets finished before the 3rd round, before the judges get involved. Just because how old both these guys are. Not because I think one guy's really good or anything like that. It's just because they're both feigning both their chins, really. And their gas tanks. This has a chance to get really ugly and sloppy, but I do think someone gets finished before the fight ends to all 3 rounds. So I'm going to pick Lozon via 1st round submission. Then, guys, in the main event, we have a pure, flat-out banger. We have Calvin Kattar taking on Josh Emmett. Line currently sits Calvin Kattar minus 250, Josh Emmett plus 195. Now, I'm going to pick Calvin Kattar, and I'll tell you why. Josh Emmett this reminds me of the Volkov-Rosenstruck fight, where Rosenstruck can win moments. He can win moments where Calvin can win minutes. He's a minute winner, Emmett moment winner. Emmett at featherweight has crazy power. He has forget the knockout number, in 9 knockouts or something in 7 fights, featherweight fights. But ever since he went down to featherweight, dude, his power has carried for sure. That's Shane Burgos fight, even the Dan Ige fight where he came back, absolutely killed Michael Johnson. But I have to mention on that real quick. He did have was it 2 ACLs or 1 ACL injury, bad blown injuries, and he had to sit out 2 years and come back. And it kind of sucked because you would watch the embedded and stuff, and you would always see him in the PI in the back, training, doing rehab. I'm like, damn, that sucks. Josh Emmett was on a run too. He was on a winning streak, just knocking people out, and he gets injured. But then he gets Dan Ige, shout out Dan Ige, tough test. But gets his dub. Now he gets a big opportunity here, and honestly, whoever wins this fight can argue for a title shot, or at least get a title eliminator the very next fight. I just thought about how they booked Brian Ortega and Yair Rodriguez. Never mind, that person's getting a title shot. But Josh Emmett has the power advantage here by far. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Calvin Kattar, I just feel like he's going to be able to use his reach. He's going to be taller and longer and avoid that one punch. Even if he does get cracked, I don't think he's getting knocked out. I don't think he's been knocked out ever in his career. But yeah, I trust his chin. He has one of the best chins in the game. You would think he's Samoan or Mexican the way he has a chin. The guy can take damage and he can also put out damage. He can put out a crazy amount of volume. He's going to be there in the 5th round. And honestly, I know people probably think this is going to go the distance. I think I saw the over at 4.5 rounds. But I think that Josh Emmett is going to get finished here. I think Calvin Kattar can finish him, much like Volkov, where he just can't let Emmett get off on him. He has to keep him outside, and that's just going to create opportunities for them to exchange. And I feel like when this does get to the late third, beginning of the fourth, that volume, that pace is going to wear a lot on Josh. I was surprised Giga didn't get finished. Giga has a crazy chin too. Either either Calvin Kattar has absolutely no power like Colby Covington, or these guys have really good chins when who he's fighting against. If you finish Shane Burgos, you know, like the guy can crack for sure. He dropped him really bad, but the pick is going to be Calvin Kattar via 4th round knockout. I don't know if I'm going to sprinkle on that prop, but I do like him to win this fight. Man, Josh Emmett's a beast, man. Like I said, he had to come back from that injury, that really long 2 years off. That is a little bit of a red flag. And like I said, he's more of a moment winner. Can he knock out Calvin Kattar? Yes. And will he have a lot of opportunities to do it? Yeah, because the way Calvin Kattar fights, there's going to be standing pretty much the whole time. I'm interested to see which fighter initiates the clinch along the cage, or really, you know, tries to go get this fight on the ground. I don't think either one will. But if they do, I think that's going to affect Josh, get him tired quicker. I trust Calvin big time here. I might parlay him here because I like putting him on a main event parlay at the end because you can hedge the other guy. But for the cap the show, guys, it's going to be Calvin Kattar via 4th round knockout. That'll do it for this week's episode, guys. I know it's a little bit different. We were a bit rushed. I have a wedding I got to get to this week, so we got to put out the video as quick as we can. We're going to have an official bets video out on Thursday, so look out for that. We'll have all of our official bets. We're not going to get to it tonight, but I do expect a lot of parlays. I mean, we said throughout the fight, a lot of the fights are minus 200 or more. I think 10 fights are at least minus 200 or more. So it's going to be chalk boys or value boys this week. So I think I'm going to be a parlay boy for that sake. But go ahead, hit that subscribe button, man. We really appreciate all the support. I want to give a couple shout outs to the homies. Shout out to Blood Money MMA. Shout out to Cody. Shout out to Johnny K Picks. I'm sure you guys watch their stream. Their show is tight. Shout out to Uncle Weezy and DFS over at Stat Diggers. I love their show. Go ahead and hit those guys who want to follow on Twitter too, man. That's what's up. But yeah, we'll see you guys on Thursday for our official bets. Hopefully we don't lose 4.11 units this week. But we've never had a losing streak in our show's history. So we're looking to keep that going and bounce back. Took a loss last week, but we're getting back this week for sure. See you guys on Thursday. Peace.